Top 5 Hollywood Curses. Welcome to Classic Shock Chronicles, where we dive deep into the shadows of Hollywood's past to uncover stories that will chill you to the bone. Today, we're taking a closer look at some of the most infamous curses in Hollywood history. These aren't just rumors. Some of these stories have left an undeniable mark on Hollywood and its biggest stars. You'll want to stay for the entire video, because the last curse is one of the most tragic and mysterious in film history. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode from Classic Shock Chronicles. You won't want to miss these spine-tingling stories of Hollywood's darkest secrets. So, let's jump into the top 5 most infamous Hollywood curses. 1. The Poltergeist Curse. Many of you may remember the 1982 movie Poltergeist, a classic horror film that still haunts audiences today. What many don't know is that the terror wasn't just on screen, it followed the cast and crew off the set as well. 4 actors from the trilogy tragically died not long after their involvement with the films. Perhaps the most shocking was the death of Heather O'Rourke, the child star who became famous for her chilling line, "They're here." Heather died unexpectedly at the age of 12 from septic shock, just months before the release of Poltergeist 3. But Heather wasn't the only one. Dominique Dunn, who played her older sister in the original film, was brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend at just 22 years old. And the strange deaths didn't stop there. Julian Beck, who played the evil preacher Cain in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer, while Will Sampson, who also appeared in the sequel, died following a risky heart-lung transplant. Some say the curse began with the filmmaker's decision to use real human skeletons during the pool scene in the first movie. JoBeth Williams, who starred as the mother in the original film, said she felt an eerie presence during filming and reported strange occurrences at home while shooting. Could it be that something otherworldly followed the cast from the set into their personal lives? The deaths, the accidents, the bad luck, it's almost too much to be a coincidence. If you found this story intriguing, be sure to subscribe to Classic Shock Chronicles, hit that like button, and ring the bell to make sure you never miss another one of these dark tales from Hollywood's history. Now, if you thought that was eerie, wait until we talk about a curse that's tied to one of Hollywood's most beloved heroes. 2. The Superman Curse. The Superman Curse is one of the longest-running and most well-known curses in Hollywood history. It's said to affect anyone who takes on the role of Superman, and the evidence is hard to ignore. Let's start with George Reeves, who portrayed Superman in the 1950s TV series. Reeves was found dead in his home in 1959 from a gunshot wound to the head. Though the official ruling was suicide, many people suspected foul play. His death remains shrouded in mystery to this day. But Reeves wasn't the only one affected. Christopher Reeve, who is arguably the most famous actor to don the cape, suffered a life-changing accident in 1995 when he was thrown from his horse during a riding competition, leaving him paralyzed from the neck down. He spent the rest of his life advocating for spinal injury research before his death in 2004. Even actors who played Superman in smaller roles weren't spared. Lee Quigley, who portrayed the baby Superman in the 1978 Superman the Movie, died at the young age of 14 from solvent abuse. Dean Cain and Brandon Routh, who also played Superman, have managed to avoid tragedy, but their careers have arguably been stifled after taking on the role. Some even believe the curse extends beyond the actors. Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane alongside Christopher Reeve, struggled with mental health issues and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after a highly publicized breakdown in the 1990s. And let's not forget Richard Pryor, who appeared in Superman 3. He was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis not long after the movie came out. Is the cape cursed, or is it just an unfortunate string of bad luck? Either way, the Superman curse remains one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. If these stories of Hollywood's haunted history fascinate you, make sure to subscribe to Classic Shock Chronicles. Give us a like and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the shadows of Tinseltown. Still with us? You'll want to be, because next up is a curse that haunted one of the scariest films ever made, and it might have left something sinister behind. The Exorcist Curse. The Exorcist, 1973, is a horror classic that terrified audiences upon its release and continues to do so to this day. But what happened behind the scenes was just as terrifying as the movie itself. During production, a series of bizarre accidents and tragic deaths led many to believe that the film was cursed. First, there were the injuries. Ellen Burstyn, who played the mother in the film, suffered a severe back injury during a scene where her character is thrown to the ground by the possessed girl, played by Linda Blair. The scream you hear in the film is her real reaction to the pain. And speaking of Blair, she also suffered a back injury when the rig that was meant to make her levitate malfunctioned. But the real terror came with the deaths surrounding the film. Two actors, Jack McGowran, who played Burke Dennings, and Vasiliki Maliaros, who played Father Karras's mother, died before the film was even released. Several other people connected to the production, including family members of the cast, also passed away during or shortly after the film's completion. Then there was the mysterious fire. At one point during filming, a fire broke out on the set and destroyed much of the interior. The only part left untouched? The room where the exorcism scenes were filmed. Production was delayed for weeks, and many began to wonder if the movie's subject matter had invited something evil to follow the crew. Even today, people claim that The Exorcist has a dark energy surrounding it, and many won't watch the film because of the curse that allegedly followed the cast and crew. Before we get into the final two curses, be sure to subscribe to Classic Shock Chronicles, give us a like, and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. It only gets darker from here. Up next, we have a curse that followed one of Hollywood's brightest stars, and the car that may have sealed his fate. 4. The Curse of James Dean's Car. James Dean was one of Hollywood's most promising young actors when his life was cut tragically short in 1955. Dean died in a car crash while driving his Porsche 550 Spider, a car he had nicknamed Little Bastard. But what happened after his death has led many to believe that the car itself was cursed. After the accident, the wreckage of the car was sold to a man named George Barris, who planned to use it for parts. However, every time a piece of the car was used in another vehicle, disaster struck. One man was killed when his car crashed using parts from Dean's wreck. Another was seriously injured when his car spun out of control, also using parts from Little Bastard. And it didn't stop there. When the remains of the Porsche were put on display as part of a road safety exhibit, the car mysteriously fell off its platform, breaking a man's leg. Even more bizarre, the wreckage disappeared without a trace while being transported in 1960, and it's never been seen since. Was James Dean's car cursed? Or is this all just a series of unfortunate events? Either way, the tragic fate of the young actor and the strange occurrences surrounding the car have kept this legend alive for decades. Curse 5. The Curse of Brandon Lee and the Crow. Our final curse involves a film that was supposed to be Brandon Lee's big break, The Crow. Tragically, it ended up being his last film. During the final days of shooting, a tragic accident occurred on set. In a scene where Lee's character is shot, a real bullet fragment was left in the prop gun, and when it was fired, Lee was fatally wounded. He died at just 28 years old. What makes this story even more eerie is the parallel between Brandon's death and that of his father, Bruce Lee, who also died young under mysterious circumstances. Bruce Lee died at the age of 32 from a cerebral edema, which many believe was caused by a family curse. Some even point to a movie Bruce was working on, titled Game of Death, in which his character is shot by a prop gun, a scene that mirrored Brandon's tragic death years later. The eerie parallels between father and son have led many to believe that the Lee family is cursed. Both Bruce and Brandon died while at the height of their careers, and under circumstances that still raise questions. After Brandon's death, rumors of the Crow set being cursed began to spread. Crew members reported feeling an ominous presence on set, and accidents plagued the production. There were even reports of unexplained electrical issues and equipment malfunctions. The film was completed using special effects and stand-ins, and when it was released, The Crow became an instant cult classic, forever linked to the tragic fate of its star. Was it all just an unfortunate accident, or did something darker follow the Lee family? We may never know, but the curse of Brandon Lee remains one of Hollywood's most haunting tragedies. Hollywood may be known for its glitz and glamour, but as we've seen, there's a darker side to the entertainment industry that is hard to ignore. From untimely deaths to mysterious accidents, these curses have left a lasting mark on some of the biggest names in film history. Whether you believe in curses or think it's all just a string of coincidences, there's no denying that these stories continue to captivate and terrify audiences even decades later. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's most notorious curses, make sure to subscribe to Classic Shock Chronicles, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another chilling story from the world of entertainment. Final thoughts. What do you think? Are these just strange coincidences, or is there something more sinister at play? Let us know in the comments below which curse creeps you out the most. And remember, at Classic Shock Chronicles, we're always here to uncover the mysteries and scandals that haunt the silver screen.